Yeah. So Greg, let me ask you a few questions here. Okay.
Yes.
This is what you do, right? You actually
Yes.
transfer memories from old VHS camcorder tapes, pictures, slides, Super 8 films for generations to watch in the future before they fade away, which is a really, really cool thing.
Very cool.
And the nice thing is people can actually call you prior to moving, and you can actually take care of some of these things for them. And not only is it a perfect thing to have to make things smaller, but it actually gives you more room and makes it easier to move.
Yep.
Because it's expensive to move sometimes. So here's my first question to you: can you transfer to DVD and files on a flash drive, cloud, or a Dropbox?
Yes, I can. I could do DVD files on a flash drive. I could make multiple copies. A cloud or Dropbox is something that I can do, but it's more if you have an account, you could just use the flash drive and then just drag and drop into your own cloud or Dropbox and send it to family members to view and watch. Especially with the holidays coming up, it's great to share them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So true.
Yeah.
I was actually, this next question I think came from me. If I have damaged like a DVD that may have like a scratch or something like that, is that something that you're able to help, or is that just something I need to throw in the trash?
Yeah, sometimes I'm able to clean up the DVD if it's scratched with a solution. But the biggest thing, Taylor and Phil, is fixing the old damaged VHS tapes, high 8 tapes.
Yeah.
When they break in the middle, they haven't been played in 20 or 30 years. The Super 8 films are, old and, just brittle. And I am able to repair those and fix those. Yes.
Awesome.
And the interesting thing is we've got like two full boxes, not just of videos. Obviously, videos actually take up quite a bit of space, but pictures. We've got pictures from the last, I want
Yeah,
to say,
that's a big
50
one.
years, because we not only have our pictures of our family, but obviously past generations, which is important also. So now when it comes to DVD tapes, not DVD tapes, but tapes, Super 8s and stuff like that, can you edit the footage?
Yes, I can. First, we have to make a MP4 file on a flash drive, and then I have to make a EDL edit decision list and putting in the times in and out, and take out 5 minutes of the mountain or 10 minutes 10 minutes of the lake, and then I'll go back and edit out all the footage, remake the DVDs, remake a flash drive, and condense that 4 hours of material down to 2.5 or 3.
That's so smart because you
Yes.
think about now when we take videos on our iPhone, you can edit, you can cut, you can start and stop, right? But back in the day, you couldn't do any of that. So that's actually that's great.
Right.
It's a huge resource.
Right. Right. And with photos and slides, I do tubs and tubs of albums. What we do is we put them on a flash drive with the files. That way they're saved. You can share them with your family. You can take them to any convenience store, print from them. I can make video slideshows with music, memorials, celebrations, and, things like that. So, yeah, it's endless of what we can do.
And if I have, well, I meaning Phil has a huge box of God knows what of 100 tapes, and right, you don't know if they're in order, right? Because
I have
back
no
in the
idea.
day, right when the
No.
tape ends, you have to put in a new tape. Do you guys sift through all that, or do we need to
No.
do that?
No, you don't have to do that at
Whew.
all.
There you go.
Each tape goes on its own DVD, and each tape has a file name. So tape number 1 will have a number 1 on the actual tape, and then file number 1. That way you'll know that Christmas '94 is file number 7, tape number 7, and you don't have to organize it. I make it simple.
This is such a great resource. Phil mentioned this to me, and I said we should definitely have Greg on the show because honestly, when people move and they have boxes of stuff, that's when you think, what should I do with this stuff? And I don't want to lose it. And so this is such a great idea.
Right.
Phil, I'm looking at
Right.
you.
And
No, yeah, absolutely.
You need to do it.
And the
I do.
And the other thing is that the tapes and films and slides, the old tapes are deteriorating. Actually, my job is getting a little harder every year because the age of the films and tapes are getting, deteriorating, and especially if they're left in the garage or an attic, the heat, the cold. After years, it does deteriorate, especially if you haven't watched them in 20, 30 years plus.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's what I have to get into repairing. But, it does work.
So I think you may have actually answered this already, but you can transfer photos and slides and make a slideshow with like music and stuff like that, which would be awesome
Yep,
too.
I do it all the time, and vacations or memorials or birthday parties, where they're doing a slideshow. You just give me the pictures. We put a nice title at the head and the end of it. Put music, their favorite music, and we make it nice. So even with your normal home pictures of the kids growing up, we can transfer thousands of pictures and still make a slideshow.
That's cool.
Of it every 5 seconds. It goes into another slide. That way you're not clicking on every file individually. You just pop it in, hit play, and every 5 seconds you'll get another picture. And it's great to watch for the families. The memories are all you have.
Exactly.
And there's been, a lot of times people have called me up and there's been, a fire or a flood. And, I'm not kidding you. I can tell you a few stories. But, and things have gotten damaged, a leaky pipe in the garage or something came up, and the memories are all you have.
Right.
Absolutely.
Your loved ones, it's just all you have, especially your parents, grandparents, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's time to transfer them, especially for the holidays. They make great gifts to family members and sit around. And the kids love watching the videos with me because back in the 90s and 80s I had hair.
Yes.
So, they make fun of me.
I love it.
All right, well, Greg, listen, hey, thank you so much. We're gonna let you go. You're kind of going in and out when it comes to the phone, so let me make sure that you can actually give your digits. Would they call you at this the 714-3339 number?
Yes, they could call me at 661-714-3339, or they could email me any questions at dvddepot@hotmail.com, or they can find me on Facebook at DVD Depot.
Okay.
DVD Depot.
DVD Depot.
Perfect.
All right, Greg.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you, Taylor,
Okay.
Phil.
Absolutely.
Have a nice weekend, buddy. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to do
All right.
it.
Oh, you know what? I feel bad because I keep telling him, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
I know.
And then I start going, holy cow. And I don't. And I don't know why.
Well, you're busy.
Well,
You have this thing called a day job, and then
I'm not as busy as Patrick.
I wasn't even going to go there.
Not as busy as Patrick. Patrick is busy.
Patrick, he told us before the show, if you're listening, that Patrick is very busy and important.
What? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not busy. Yes, important. No.
So we have so much to cover, and
Yes,
I
we
feel
do.
sad for the fourth of a tree that died for your ream or whatnot. So I'm like, where should we start? I'm just saying, look at it. It's a pile. We've got
I never
good
said
stuff.
you were wrong.
Fair.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to by the numbers.
Okay.
SCV. By the numbers.
Yay. Okay, how about this? Here's a number, 332, which is interesting because I said at the end of this month we'd have 400, and we're not. We're at 332. We're at 338, so we've actually gone down when it comes to active listings in Santa Clarita, which kind of blows
you've
me
got
away.
2 weeks left,
Okay.
week and a half left.
Here's another number, 250 million.
I know.
You ready?
Yeah.
That's the amount that Wells Fargo was fined for reckless practices. Now, Wells Fargo has been they've just been whacked lately.
Yeah.
over
Well,
the
they've been
last
in the
5
news for a
years.
long time.
Yeah, and so
starting with the 2011 crash and mortgage forbearance and things like that.
all of that neat stuff. They
Yep.
were sending out
Neat.
emails or something to I don't know. Anyway, I guess in 2018 they had an agreement to clean up certain things that they were doing, and they just didn't live up to what they said that they were going to do. Also, one of the things that they were doing was charging for lock extensions before the loan was even approved.
So explain what that is for people that are listening.
Well, okay, so if for some reason you actually have a loan and you're supposed to close it within 17 days or whatever, and you decide, I'm going to lock because I really like what the actual interest rate is.
Right.
I want to lock
The way
it.
this
I want to
loan
lock it
looks.
for 5 weeks, 6 weeks. You can
Right.
lock it for 3 months if you want.
Yep.
So they lock a loan, and then if for some reason it doesn't get done in that amount of time, they'll come to you and say, hey, if you're not taking this money, for us to relock, we're going to charge you $1,800.
Right.
Well,
Pause for reaction.
they were coming up front saying, okay, here's your loan. By the way, here's the lock extension
Yeah.
fee. And it's like,
Cheers.
I'm sorry, what?
You look at that through escrow and you're like, wait a minute. What is this $1,800?
Oh, and
Yeah.
the funny thing is they were charging them that even if the loan wasn't approved ever, they were still
Well,
charging
and that's the frustrating thing. I mean, I'm all for paying for services earned, but I'm not quite sure what clicking a button and extending a loan. You know what I mean? It's not
Yep.
like you're submitting new financials. So it's just, again, it kind of goes back to the questionable business practices. So when you sent me this, I didn't raise my eyebrow. I'm like, well,
Didn't even
not
phase you.
surprised. Yep.
Didn't even phase you.
Unfortunately, no offense to Wells Fargo, but not surprised.
Here's an interesting thing. Redfin says, and we know, I've been saying this for the last 2 months. Redfin says hey, we're slowing down.
Ah.
You know, when it comes to sales.
Yes.
Thank you, Redfin.
Yes.
How much did that cost? Now, here's
A
the
lawyer,
scary
probably
thing.
a lot.
Here's the scary thing is that means, Redfin employees. Hold on. Because the actual
I
realtors that work
know.
for Redfin, they're employees. Which means, you know what, your job's great. You know, you're doing this thing. You're making you're not making as much as a regular successful
Right.
realtor.
But at
you're
least
making
it's
money.
guaranteed income.
And
That's
you got
the
your insurance
difference.
paid, and you got 2
Yep.
weeks vacation,
Absolutely.
and blah, blah, blah. But then you always have to worry as soon as you have a correction in the market whether you'll be kept.
Correct.
And that's probably not a good thing. Okay, here's another number. You know, I've got a ton of them.
You do, yes.
230,000.
I know what that one is too.
230,000 is exactly how many people in California actually have lost their coverage for fire insurance.
So let's talk about this because this did make me raise an eyebrow. And I double checked our policy last night after we talked about this to make sure that Greg and I are covered with fire insurance. And we're on the west side.
You are, because you're close to the ocean. That's a lot of water, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, correct. But I still checked it. But
Oh, no,
okay,
it's
so
smart.
explain what's going on. Because this
Absolutely.
did surprise me.
Okay, so here's the situation. They threw me a curveball about a month ago, a Geico, nice of them, that said, guess what? You've got fire insurance, and we're not going to renew it.
You said, what?
Exactly. No, actually, I said,
I'm
okay,
calling my lawyer.
it gives me a good reason to call Jimmy Lewis at Voy Insurance, who actually
Okay.
advertises on our show, and he's terrific, right? And I said, Jimmy, help. And he says, okay.
Oh, but seriously,
It's
help.
not a problem. Yeah, no, right.
It's kind of a big one.
And so he had us with Mercury at
Right.
first, and then just before they wrote it, they went, nope. In fact, I had a client that actually was going with Mercury. We just closed it 2 days ago. They went, nope. It actually extended our escrow one day because they had to go out and find
To get this
something else.
iron out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, so he sent me a letter saying California has been under has been under almost constant firestorm since 2017. A CAL FIRE spokesman recently remarked that California used to have a fire season. Not anymore.
I remember that.
But
Yeah.
now that season and risk is year-round. As a result, insurance companies have canceled coverage for over 230,000 California homeowners in 2019 alone, which means it's going to be more this year.
Right.
And
lot more.
and last year, I'm sure it was more. Further, the California Department of Insurance has approved over $1 billion in insurance premiums increases between 2017 and 2020. I love the fact that they're going to go, okay, it's okay, you can charge it more. That's fine. Stevenson Ranch and many parts of the greater Santa Clarita Valley area are identified to be in moderate to very high fire risk zones. Obviously,
think?
that's ours.
Yep,
In
yep.
fact, to get it this time, and I'd never had to do this before, he goes, go on out, circle your home, and take pictures. And I said, well, I've just got these, I've got palm trees. I mean, I've got some other trees, but I've got palm trees. I've got like 9 palm trees on my property. He goes, palm trees are the worst tree that you could possibly have on your property. And I went, oh, I didn't mean palm trees.
living-
Did you hear me say palm
No,
trees?
I'm in a pine tree,
It was-
and they die. They die during
Yeah.
the winter and the
Yeah,
autumn. Like
yeah.
it's not. It's
there's-
and
yeah.
then we remove them, so
No.
there's no fire hazard.
He goes, go take pictures. And
I'm
went,
dying though when you told me this. I mean, I'm sorry, palm trees are beautiful and they're all over Southern California. So, and there's fines for certain palm trees to just uproot them, right? It's not.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean it's
okay.
funny. So
Is
my
it?
9 palm trees, and I used to have 12, but we actually took 3 out that were actually close to the house. So that was going to help me
There
maybe.
you go.
But we've got trees by the house. We've got palm trees. I had the guy come in and cut the palm fronds. I guess what happens is those dried palm fronds.
Yeah, those are.
They go up real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Kindling.
they start floating
Correct.
around. And if
And then
they're
they
especially
land on-
above your
yep.
roof, I guess that's not a good thing.
Makes sense.
I don't know that much about fire,
But
and
still,
I guess that's not a good thing.
I think this is really interesting. So people that are listening, I mean, make sure. I mean, I know that I get notices from our insurance, USAA, and I'm like, oh, what? Something went up. Something's due. I read it only because I'm an attorney, but you get notices, and a lot of times people don't read them. So just double
He says
check.
homeowners
right?
in these areas have been hit particularly hard as non-renewals. A non-renewal is a cancellation of your
Correct.
home policy, and have increased by 61%.
And they hide it too in the fine print and stuff, right?
Yep,
So hey,
yep.
your premium is due. This is due, and by the way, you don't have fire insurance.
Yep. And and if your policy hasn't been non-renewed, you almost certainly have received insurance premium increases, which would have been okay with me. I mean, it is what it is. I've got to have it, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't want to be self-insured. In fact, I don't even think I'm allowed to be self-insured.
Depends on where you live, but no.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't recommend it.
They'd
but
call
this,
my loan, which was not a good thing. But I sell a lot in Stevenson Ranch, and I'm dealing with this all the time. I've got one right now.
Yeah.
Thank God. The guy's actually paying cash. He's not my buyer. He's paying cash, and I don't even think he even thinks about fire insurance right now.
Okay.
And he's right up against the.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Again, something to think about.
So call. We want you to call Jimmy Lewis at Voy Insurance.
Yeah, definitely.
And look him up. And he advertises on the show here, so you can get his number from there.
It's too expensive not to have, right?
And guess what?
What?
We've got to sell some televisions.
I think it's time.
Yep. And you know what? We got to a whole one page of my own.
We really have good stuff, so stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Through my soul, so cynical. So you're a tough guy, like you really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so puff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple. Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at FERRIS.com.
Let's talk about insurance. Are your rates skyrocketing year after year? Or do you feel like you would benefit from a professional advisor that works for you? Give the great team at Voy Insurance Solutions a call. Voy works with dozens of the best insurance companies to help you obtain competitive rates and comprehensive coverage. Homeowners, auto, business, and life insurance. Voy Insurance. Right price, right coverage, right now. Mention the Phil Nordella Show and get a free $10 Starbucks card. Visit voyinsurance.com. That's voinsurance.com.
My name is Frank. I'm the proud owner and operator of Braveheart Termite and Pest Control. I've been doing this for over 25 years. Call me for your termite needs and concerns. If you're in real estate and need a quality home inspection, call me today. You'll have those reports same day or within 24 hours. I will help you solve your issue with what needs to be done and nothing extra. Call me so you can have freedom from termites. 661-373-2617. That's 373-2617.
Are you confused with all the craziness that's going on with the real estate market these days? Well, if you are, you're not alone. I'm Phil Nordella, and I have the knowledge and experience to help guide you through all the confusion. I'll answer your questions and help advise you so that you can accomplish your real estate goals. You can call me directly at 661-312-3561 or get online at philnordella.com. And don't forget, you can always listen to my radio show called Real Estate It's That Simple here on KHTS every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Phil Nordella, eXp Realty, it's that simple.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Hey, okay, welcome back to Real Estate It's That Simple on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. You know, I don't think we waved. Did we?
We
wave
didn't,
before?
and we didn't have sound
We didn't
earlier,
have
so I
sound.
think
Wow.
we have to project now for what
Yes.
people missed out, right?
Yes,
Hopefully we're
exactly.
back.
We can start over.
No, we already have so much else to get through.
Okay.
Stress me
All right.
out.
By the way, that's Taylor Williams-Moniz. And you know what?
Hello.
Taylor is incredible because she's actually
Thank you.
a full partner at Donahoe, Young & Williams. She specializes in real estate law, business litigation, estate planning. She's also the president of the Santa Clara Valley Bar Association for
One
how
more
much?
month.
1 more month.
But I'm past president, but I'm also on the board of the San Fernando Valley Bar Association. So
Okay.
if
I
anybody,
may have to reprint some stuff then when you're not
know.
anymore because I guess
I know.
you got it in there.
I'll be the past president. So I know.
That's cool.
Anyway.
Okay. How about in the news?
Yep. I'm excited
Yep,
to see
yep.
where we go with this.
And now, in the news.
Okay, so there's a company called Picasso. Okay, we talked about it before.
Yep.
They had their first round of funding for some reason, made I don't know $100 million. They did a second round of funding. They made $125 million. Whenever any company like that kind of has a kind of a weird type of idea.
They're the percentage ownership company, right?
Yeah, it's 1/8 fractional ownership. So if you were thinking of buying a second home,
Patty and I want to go in together
Exactly
for
right.
a second home.
So
Yep.
the owner of this place lived in wine country, and so he decided, you know what, I think we'll do. It would be kind of nice for people to own fractional percentages of homes, so they don't have to buy a $3 million home, but they can divide it in 8,
Right.
and they can actually spend $400,000-$500,000 and be able to spend a little time,
Right.
which is basically a timeshare. Okay?
Right, and we talked about how do they figure out the bookings and who gets the high season, the low season,
right.
all that
well,
fun
I guess
stuff.
I guess they're having some blowback. Which they just closed on another 125 million. But when Alfred Miller pulled up to his new vacation, this is interesting, his new vacation home in Sonoma, California, he was greeted by a bevy of signs scattered on lawns, fences, and cars protesting the very company he used to purchase the property. Stop Picasso, not here Picasso. And even the Picasso house is the big one on the right with no soul. Oh, these are the things that he's driving to his nice vacation,
like, this
right
is
home?
Cheery.
He goes, imagine me as a new homeowner driving up and getting to the corner of Old Winery Court, and the more I drive into the neighborhood, the more signs I see.
Right.
I mean, it was not what I would call very welcoming. Picasso, a luxury home co-ownership company, is a Silicon Valley darling at the moment, having just raised $125 million in Series C funding round after achieving unicorn valuation in March.
Which we talked about.
Okay, yes. But the influence of cash comes amid persistent NIMBY, not in my backyard.
Which I did not know, but Phil told us before the show what that meant.
Backlash from vocal protesters in Northern California wine country, the first market it began operating in when it launched in November. So there's their biggest gripe the homeowners in the wealthy area have is that Picasso's co-ownership model is introducing transients into their community, all by transients that can afford to buy homes in the value of $2 million.
Yeah.
But they've got all of these different groups that just can't stand him. One group in particular is called Stop Picasso Now. Stop serving as an acronym for Sonomans Together Opposing Picasso. There's another one called CATS, Communities Against Timeshares. I mean, there's another one called Nope, but Neighborhoods Oppose Picasso Encroachment. These
aren't the tiny little communities where you know everybody on the block. I mean, Sonoma is a growing area, and in order, like you said, for these people to purchase even a percentage of these properties, I wouldn't classify those people as a transient.
Nope, they're saying they're transients.
So that's why I'm
in the
confused.
Community. Yeah, they're saying that they do not bring anything to the table. They're just here on vacation. They say you're not you're a transient vacation occupant. You're not joining local groups. You're not sending your kids to school. You're not a member of the community. You're coming here for 2-week vacation then leaving, which actually they get a little more 2 weeks. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny.
I know, but it doesn't make any sense to me because you get income from tourists. When I go to Sonoma, I'm sure that they like to take my American dollars, right? But I don't live there. So I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense to me. When I read it doesn't make sense.
100%.
All right.
So this
we should go up there and investigate.
Oh, you know what?
That was just a thought I had. A transient thought. But
both families, transient thought. Look at you. I saw where you went with that.
That was good. That was good.
You know what, Taylor? That if this plays, I hope. Oh, I was gonna. No. I was going to put the applause button.
It was pretty good. Oh, the applause doesn't like me last week or this week.
How about laughing? Yeah, laughing.
I think we do, actually. Let me go.
Do you want to take it back? You want to say the line again? Or?
No, I don't. I want to keep moving because, again, this tree is making me sad. So what do you have next?
Okay, so I'm not going to give this guy's name because I'm going to ask you to save that for the end, but this is kind of interesting. Popular YouTuber agent facing criminal charges for video antics. Now, I'm going to tell you this was in 2019. Okay, this wasn't. And then this is, I don't know whether it's a good story at the end of it or what, but there's a certain guy that was charged with trespassing after storming the office of Grant Cardone in December. Again, 2019.
Okay.
In a case that illustrates a combative world of real estate influencers and the dangers of chasing online stardom, an agent with a large social media following now is now facing criminal charges for a stunt that involved dressing up like an elf, okay, and allegedly running through the office of a prominent real estate investor. This guy, better known as, I'm not going to say, on YouTube and Instagram, was charged in February with trespassing, again, 2019 or 2020 at the time, and disorderly conduct, both misdemeanors. The charges stem from a December 22nd incident in which this guy, who is based in the Los Angeles area, that's the reason why I was doing a checking up on him, flew to Miami and showed up at offices of Grant Cardone, a real estate investor and speaker who described himself as the #1 sales trainer in the world. Well, basically the whole idea behind this thing, it kind of cracks me up because he is a a YouTuber. He wants to do, crazy, wild stuff.
You get people's attention. And dressing as an elf
Exactly.
and running through someone's office, I mean, there are worse things.
Yes,
Just
but
saying.
it was so on video. It shows a security guard stepping between the elfin-attired group, because there was a group of them, and most of the cubicles in the area, because there was a lot of cubicles for salespeople and stuff like that. The guard gradually ushers the group towards the door, and they leave. Not a problem. A police report citing videos provided by Cardone's attorney states that after leaving, this guy passed out picket signs, after which he and his group began banging on the building's windows. Okay?
A little much.
A second video reviewed by Inman shows this guy later running back into the building with a bullhorn as people inside try to shut the door and seemingly gesture for him to leave. The police report states that this guy ran for approximately 100 feet while screaming loudly until a security guard subdued him. Yet another video shows this guy standing outside the building, handcuffed with a group of police. The video also hosted on his YouTube channel, but it's still on there.
It was all for show to get more YouTube viewers, right? I mean, this is annoying, but this isn't that big of a deal.
Exactly.
And the only reason we're talking about it is because who this elf is. Are we revealing that?
Yeah. It's funny because...
Let's see if Patty knows who this person is.
I don't.
Just wait. You don't know his name yet. You
True.
might. You might.
Actually, that's not true. True.
You might.
Yeah, I might.
But here's the thing, is the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because of the fact that he's a realtor in Ventura.
Correct.
And so I called Chris and I said, hey, this guy whose name is Kevin Paffrath. Kevin Paffrath. Do you know him?
No, I was going to assume, is this like a Jake Paul, Logan Paul thing or something?
No, actually, this guy happens to have run for governor.
I wrote election on the back of my page trying to clue Patty in.
Yeah, he actually came in second behind Elder, which is fascinating. So he went from just being a crazy guy, and I actually got online onto his YouTube channel, and he basically talks mostly about stocks.
Yeah,
which is interesting. But I guess he's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of followers, in the millions. And so I thought that was kind of interesting,
and the elf play.
It never came up that he did that and actually got arrested for that.
Elf and stocks.
He has good lawyers. Well, I also think no one thought he was going to win. So,
But
I hate to say that.
I'm surprised that he did so well.
Yeah, I am too.
Did,
when the poll results came out, I was very surprised.
There was a lot of people behind him because wasn't there like 700 people running?
Not quite
close.
700, but yes, there were a number of
How did
people.
Caitlin do? I never checked.
She was like third to last, I think, like 1% of the vote, I think. I mean, don't quote me on that, but it was very, when they're showing the poll results, and it scrolls. I think the last page Caitlyn Jenner showed up on. So
yeah, she did have like 1%, I think.
Yeah, 30-something thousand votes, maybe a little bit more.
Good for her.
Not horrible. Yeah, seriously,
good for her.
Not horrible.
Something. Okay, so next, broker, according to Inman, a broker sues the National Association of Realtors, claims listing agent omission violates antitrust. So let me explain
Everybody with the antitrust stuff. I mean, come up with something new.
Yeah.
Right?
In fact,
I'm just saying it's all the same stuff, right?
Arizona broker Grady Hillis objects to rules prohibiting listing broker and agent contact information in public remarks in restricting access to lockboxes to realtors. Now, you're probably going, what the heck does that mean?
Break it down.
Okay, so when you actually put something on the MLS, the MLS is really simple. Agents pay to put things on the MLS, and then they, in turn, actually put it out to everybody that actually gains access when it comes to realtors for the MLS.
Right.
They also double dip because they get money from Zillow and all of the rest.
For listing it from which Zillow can take it, from which Redfin can take
right.
it.
And then they put that on their websites.
Right.
But here's the problem, and this is what this guy's got a problem with. They don't like the fact that when you actually put a picture on the MLS and you've got a sign in front, right? Well, you would think, you know what? I want everybody to see that's my listing.
Right.
So you take a picture of the sign and with the house and everything, and they turn it down.
Right.
They say, no, you can't do that.
Right.
So he's saying, hey, that's bogus. That's baloney. So he says the defendants began redacting information out of the listing agent or broker out of his sales listings when an emailed copy is sent to the potential buyer. So when I actually send something to you, I have two ways of sending it. One, it won't let me. Okay, the first one, and that is with all my information on it.
Right.
I can send those to you, but I can't send those. Another broker can't send those to his clients.
Right.
I can send you client information, which just shows that your MLS thing that you're looking for at the bottom of every listing has my name.
Right.
And so he's saying, hey, you know what? If you're going to email that out, it should show my name.
Right. Because it's not someone else's listing. And you're just sharing it.
Exactly right. There's also a public remarks section. And you can't say, hey, by the way, if you don't have a realtor, give me a call and this is my number. You can't do that either.
Right.
So he's saying that's a problem. So he's suing, and they're actually coming back and saying, look, you know what? You're just a pain in the neck.
More or less.
And we're not going to do it. And then at the end of it, they kind of dissed him by saying, this did you read the back of this where he actually had somebody else file this, even though he says he's an attorney, he had somebody else file this, and they went, you know what? This is just messy.
I think messy is the operative word. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So fascinating.
So we'll see. I mean, but there's just so many antitrust lawsuits right now because it's all about what's fair, what's not fair, competition, whatnot. So I don't know.
Yep.
Filing a lawsuit is spendy, though. I think I'd spend my dollars elsewhere, especially with this one. No offense.
And here's one I'm just going to blow through.
Yep.
Okay, Top Agent Network appeals dismissal of NAR antitrust suit.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so Top Agent Network, TAN, are supposed to be what they claim to be is we're the top agents.
Right.
Okay, so I've seen actual agents get in business, and they've been in business for a week, and they put on their card, I'm a top agent.
They were really good that week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, what their problem is their problem says they want to keep all of their listings in with their little group.
Right.
And so they don't like the fact that the MLS has got a rule that's called the Clear Cooperation Policy that says as soon as they take a listing, everybody else has to do it. As soon as we take a listing, we have to put it in the MLS within 24 hours. But the Top Agent Network is saying, hey, we don't want to have to do that.
Wasn't it a business day or something? Because wasn't there questions about whether Saturday was a business day? Because remember, you could have Sunday and you could list something and not have to put it on the MLS.
It's possible, but there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do with in that time.
There's not a lot of wiggle room.
What they're saying, and I used to do this too. What they're saying is they're saying you take you actually take a listing. And I would wait sometimes a couple of weeks. I would put a sign up and everything. And if anybody called from the sign, or I do my own marketing, and if somebody actually called on it and I could sell it, terrific. But they're saying that's not good, and I agree with that, because what would you rather have if you were selling your house? Do you want 8 people to actually know about your house?
Who
or
may
would you
drive
rather
by, or
750,000 people?
Or the out-of-state buyer that's looking for something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it benefits the actual seller to not let them get away with just being able to only show it to their own people.
So the court said, okay, Tan, you may be correct. However, you are the wrong plaintiff to bring this lawsuit because you're claiming this anti-discrimination, but yet your business model discriminates. So, okay, bye. So that's what Tan is appealing to the Ninth Circuit, which is like the friggin' wild, wild west. So God bless. Good luck. We'll see. I'm surprised they're appealing it, but,
Well, you know what?
That was it in a nutshell. Was that good?
No, that was quick, but it was quick, so I hope they understand it.
Yeah.
When they actually said you're not the person to bring it is because you're absolutely right.
Right.
They're
the
just
court's
as
saying
bad.
you're doing your own version of discrimination, so you can't say we can, this yellow is okay, but this green one over here, we're not okay with that. No, they're all colors and neither of them are cool.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And this I actually printed. You haven't seen this, but this is like, look at her. She's like, what?
I haven't type A, something I
and
haven't
we don't even
seen.
have to talk about this. But this is called the coming soon. Okay, coming soon is the thing that when you put it in, you can put it in, but it's coming soon. This says coming soon is a hot mess. Here's why it needs to change.
Okay.
So here's a whole article saying that it should change, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to tease that.
Okay.
For next.
And that's even to me, people. So stay tuned.
Yep.
Because I haven't read it.
All right. Guess what? Unfortunately.
Is it time?
It is.
Okay.
When we come back, you know what? The 7 most ridiculous requests agents have received from clients.
And Phil's going to chime in. I'm excited about this one.
I don't have a lot of them. I mean, these are good.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Bloody no sleeping. You're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
Donahoe Young & Williams is your award-winning go-to law firm for all real estate matters, including the changing legal landscape due to COVID-19. In addition, Donahoe Young & Williams can help you create an estate plan that accomplishes your wishes, protects you and your family, and avoids time-consuming and expensive California probate. If you've been financially devastated by the pandemic, Donahoe Young & Williams can help with debt negotiation and, when needed, bankruptcy under Chapters 7, 11, and 13. Visit Taylor Williams at dywlaw.com.
Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at marlaferris.com.
Let's talk about insurance. Are your rates skyrocketing year after year? Or do you feel like you would benefit from a professional advisor that works for you? Give the great team at Voy Insurance Solutions a call. Voy works with dozens of the best insurance companies to help you obtain competitive rates and comprehensive coverage. Homeowners, auto, business, and life insurance. Voy Insurance. Right price, right coverage, right now. Mention the Phil Nordella Show and get a free $10 Starbucks card. Visit voyinsurance.com. That's voinsurance.com.
Are you confused with all the craziness that's going on with the real estate market these days? Well, if you are, you're not alone. I'm Phil Nordella, and I have the knowledge and experience to help guide you through all the confusion. I'll answer your questions and help advise you so that you can accomplish your real estate goals. You can call me directly at 661-312-3561 or get online at philnordella.com. And don't forget, you can always listen to my radio show called Real Estate It's That Simple here on KHTS every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Phil Nordella, eXp Realty, it's that simple.
I love it.
Right on!
Your hometown station.
Hey, welcome back to Real Estate It's That Simple on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. I am still, hopefully, your friend in the real estate business with Taylor Williams-Moniz and Patty.
And Patty.
Okay, so I have a bone to pick with Loan Depot. And, you know, this is silly, but it bugs me. Okay, so I'm going to run this by you.
And I have no idea what this is, so here we go.
Okay, and again, it might be silly, right?
Okay.
Loan Depot keeps emailing me. All right, just silly stuff. And it's like, finally, I get to a point where I'm like, enough. And I go down to unsubscribe. Okay. So as you get to the bottom, and I know there has to be a certain size font that people have to be able to read.
Correct. We've talked about this, yeah.
And so very small font. I mean, for me, with contacts in, great vision, everything, it's like barely, I can finally, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden there's a little H-E-R-E. Itty bitty here.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's in blue. And it says, then I go back and it says unsubscribe. Fine, I unsubscribe. It takes me to another page.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and then it takes me to this page that says, are you thinking of getting a loan? No. Are you thinking of doing this? And it makes you fill
you have to go
out
through hoops
information.
To unsubscribe. Yeah, that's normal.
That's normal?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about why are you leaving. I'm not talking about, hey, why are you actually, sorry to see you go type of thing. They're asking me questions.
It's aggressive. I agree.
It's messed up.
Okay.
And it says, and then as I read it, it says, by the way, to actually unsubscribe, it's going to bring you, and it took me through like 4 or 5 different sites really fast. Boom, 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 boom. It took me finally to a site, but it said that you've got to fill out these things if you want to unsubscribe. That should be illegal.
Okay. I agree. No. I didn't realize we're taking it to that level, but I'll see what I can do. But yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, you shouldn't have to jump over so many hurdles to unsubscribe. I agree.
I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
And then you click on it, and then.
I told you they're in my building. I'll just walk downstairs. Excuse me. What's happening here?
I've never actually decided. I filled out one. I clicked on one thing, and then it took me to something else, and it said, "Is this a business or a residence?" And I was going to click on something else, and it was like, "Is this a refi?" And I'm like, they're asking me to fill stuff out when all I want to do is not get their emails anymore.
Send it to me. I'll look at it.
That's messed up.
Okay.
So what we promised, 7 of the most ridiculous requests agents have received from clients. This is kind of fun. This is according to Inman. And I've actually got one. I tried to think of some of the craziness, and I couldn't. But if I do come up with some more, okay. So here's one story. Once I had to deal with a couple who were really suspicious about a property, which is interesting. The property was very well decorated. Once the couple toured the home, they told me to include a fact in the contract that made me laugh. According to them, the house looked haunted. They wanted to hire a home inspector who will search for ghosts at night in that house. If the owner had allowed it in the contract, they would have been living in that house today. But they're not living in the house, so I guess
that's interesting.
Maybe they should have checked. I don't know a physical inspector that checks for ghosts. I know a lot of people.
No, I don't think physical inspector would be the one. I would just say sage it, right? Just, along with your closing documents, send over a big thing of sage and just God bless.
Sage?
Yeah. Cool. Patty knows what I'm talking about.
I do.
I don't.
Okay. It gets rid of bad juju.
It's zen.
Sage
very zen.
Though, right?
Yeah,
you
and you walk around and it's smoke and it just starts. I mean, you don't have to do whatever that is, but
I get it.
Pretty good. It cleanses the space and brings in whatever energy you want to bring in.
Okay, so I'm Catholic.
Okay.
And so when the priest comes by with that little thing, is
yeah,
that
it's kind
sage?
of I don't think it's sage, but it's similar.
Okay, and
Yeah,
that's
it's
when
cleansing.
they go. That's
It's
when
cleansing.
they go. Yabba dabba dabba yabba.
Ask my husband; he's Catholic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't do that.
Okay. Here's one. Eva Lynn of Lynn Realty Group in California wrote to Inman at that one time. A seller wanted to dig up an entire rose garden 2 months after she moved out, which is kind of weird because they would have allowed that if it happened right there. So
this next one is my favorite, and I actually thought I was going to get to read through these.
Designer clothes.
Steals my thunder.
Seller owned a popular designer name brand, and the client wanted several pairs of expensive jeans at the close of escrow. At first, Jesse thought the client was joking, but after a long and serious look,
I would like to know what designer, because I've got some nice designer jeans. But, I mean, that'd be something I'd notice, like, hey.
When it came to that...
Right? Phil's not having it. Okay.
No.
Okay, next. This next one sounds like something I would do as well. So I'm stealing people's jeans, and now this next
Stealing
one.
Their dog?
Yeah,
Stealing
the dog.
jeans?
Keep the dog.
Taking the roses?
Yeah.
All of that stuff. So
the seller wanted the buyer to keep their dog.
Yeah, Matt Ward,
That's
a Ward
wild.
Group in Tennessee, wrote to Inman that during one transaction, the seller wanted the buyer. The buyer.
I
Now,
know,
this is
so I'm
not the
saying the
seller.
buyer.
It's fascinating. The bizarre requests regarding the contract generally come from the buyer's side. But the fun fact is this was really weird from the seller. They said, hey, guess what? We want the seller. We want you to keep our dog.
Wait. So if you put your house on the market and Barkley is there, if Greg and I agreed to buy it, side note, I've been trying to steal Phil's dog. It's actually his son and his son's husband's dog, but this made the wheels turn. Okay, but that is interesting that you would want the buyer to keep your dog.
I'll put in the contract that I'm allowed to sell it to anyone but you.
Rude. Can't do it. It's discrimination.
Yeah, so that was
But that's
interesting.
allowed
Here's another one that's kind of interesting.
You can't do this.
As a real estate agent, I have faced a number of bizarre client requests from several clients. Once I was selling a luxury home with an amazing basement, party area, dance floor, swimming pool, and more.
I'm in.
A supermodel, I'm not sure why that mattered, a supermodel showed interest in the place, so I fixed a schedule to show her around the house. Everything was going so well indeed. But then she placed real criteria on this thing. She just said, look, if I buy it, you have to guarantee that no police are going to come in the house.
The contract does not allow the police to enter her residence no matter what happens. You can't do that. You just can't do that. Sorry,
well,
that's out.
Kind of hard.
No, you just
to
can't do
enforce.
that, right? Someone slipped and fell, but no one can come in. Like, we'll bring out... No.
So supermodel, so you're figuring really crazy stuff. And yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a silly ask, and it's not enforceable.
Okay.
This next one is this is a guy thing.
One of my clients wanted to use every bathroom. This is a guy
That's
thing.
such a
I
guy
love
thing.
that.
A female would
I want to
never-
use every bathroom before buying it. He asked me to put in the contract. I want to be able to use every single one. And I'm guessing.
No comment.
I'm guessing. I mean, we can get weird here, right?
It is weird.
I'm guessing it's not number one, right, that he was thinking about. It was not put in the contract, but the landlord surprisingly allowed it. And my client bought the house once he made sure he enjoyed every shower. Oh, okay. I thought he was using the toilet.
They probably put that in there to. He was using the whole bathroom. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And
Okay.
this next one is weird too.
This is really funny. Real estate agents like me tend to pitch a lot of clients throughout the year. I have pitched to a lot of clients and potential buyers, but this one client stands out from the crowd. This one time, I was taking a buyer to a house who was very adamant about buying a place of peace, serenity, and tranquility.
Fair.
They seemed very normal and interested
Yeah.
in the house, just like any buyer. But as they kept looking, they asked me to use a hose and spray the window from the outside.
So this one, I look at it, the heading says hose the windows. So I'm thinking, okay, they want the windows clean. Like totally normal.
Right.
But no. No, they
I feel,
wanted.
I feel very awkward, but to comply, as they seemed like potential buyers. So I kept doing that for almost every room in the house. And the house was pretty big. I then found out that their primary goal was to find a home that sounded nice when it rained.
So they wanted to like recreate what it would sound like if it rained. I know.
This house sounds nice.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say
either.
that, right?
Wait, so you said you had one that you thought of? Okay.
I did. I actually went, and when I was on the listing, they had it was like almost like a mausoleum up for one of their family members that had died.
Oh.
And it was big. It was like 8 feet by 8 feet.
That's
and it had
huge.
roses and flowers and this big, huge monument. And they said, we're taking it. And I was saying, I'm thinking the people don't want it, so you're fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
I would feel very creepy about keeping someone else's mausoleum.
But I told them, I said, you have to replace it with something. They said, we'll put some stuff in here, but we want.
We had a client once that had buried all of the family animals in the backyard, and they wanted to take the animals with them. And we said, fine, just make sure that the lawn doesn't have gaping holes in it. So.
Well, this is going to be shocking to you, but there are certain things we didn't get to.
So I'm not going to talk about how many things we didn't get to.
How do people get a hold of you?
661-259-9000 or dywlaw.com. And how do we find you?
PhilNordella.com or 661-312-3561. You know what?
What?
We need 2 hours.
I totally agree. Sometimes I think that we
How much does it cost if we can just keep going until we're done and then leave?
I don't know. I can negotiate
plan
it.
that, right?
I'm pretty good at that.
Can.
I can. I'm serious. But no, good show. It is nice to be back, to get out of the house.
Yes, and you look terrific, by the way.
You're very sweet.
Having a baby suits you.
Don't say that. My husband's ready for another one, which is laughable.
Oh, kick him out. I'm telling you.
Amen.
Kick him out.
That's
boom, boom,
literally
boom.
will solve that problem.
Are you having a second?
Hopefully. God willing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a third dog. We'll figure it out. But thank you for listening, everybody. Have a
nice
great
weekend.
weekend.